right, the day after post-Thanksgiving. Whoops, pardon me. Let me turn this off for a second here. There we go. Fortunately, it's not showing up, but well, you might see it a little bit. But there's a lenticular cloud over the top of Mount Shasta there, behind the trees, right there. Oh, yeah, we got a different, what do they call it? A low pressure. It's coming in from the coast. And so the wind is now blowing a little bit more and a little bit more cloud formation. And Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we might get some precipitation. We'll see, which we need. So, yeah, good day. A nice, gentle. I rested, took my time. But I am happy to say I finished up my Kunda. Or I know this is the Adi Shakti through the Sikh Dharma tradition from Yogi Bhajan, but I've also seen that as the Kunda, the Sikh flag, and I'm happy with myself. That was a nice little adventure with crayons and that little newsprint sketching paper and everything. But I did pretty good. I'm happy with it. I love the energy of it. So, but yeah, beautiful day as it's wrapping up. I got a north-facing window. And let me turn this back on. Keep the heat going. And so, yeah, so that's what's happening. I like to, here we go. This is my window into weed. That I've been enjoying. Let's see if you can see. Here's Mohawk Hill. And I don't know if I mentioned this in one of my recap videos, but when was that? Last spring, maybe? They put in all new you can't see it. They put in all new wires, and I think they put in 5G. And I know they got the smart meters up because we have that here now. And that was last spring or so. And there used to be a pair of turkey vultures, turkey buzzards, who lived up on Mohawk Hill, who I'd always, they soar. They just kind of glide. You rarely see them flap their wings. And so they would soar by the window, say hello when I'd walk into town. They would circle above. But when they put those wires and 5G in, the turkey buzzards left. And I have to say, since that time too, I have just been exhausted. It's very depleting. You know, when I'd walk into town, my walks into town were always invigorating. I mean, even if I was tired when I started, by the time I got back, I was like, yeah. I was like, who are these two neighbors? They might be college kids. Um, and oh, and so and it's always been that way since. So I know it's that 5G and those smart meters and all of that stuff, man. And the turkey buzzards left. They just left, which I was very sad until a couple of weeks um, before my roommate or the gentleman that I was taking care of had a stroke and then passed away. Like 3 weeks. It's amazing. When I would be walking back from town, they would show up right as I would be coming to the door, and they'd circle around, and then they would soar right out. Let's see, right outside the window, right over the window here. And that was for about a week. They did, and I was like going, "Oh yay, they're back!" Well, they were back to just let me know that um, the gentleman that I was taking care of was going to be making his transition, which 3 weeks later, sure enough, he had his stroke, and that's the first time I've ever had to had that experience of somebody who had a stroke, and you know, obviously I called the medical ambulance, and they took him to the hospital, and then he was on life support ever since for about a week or so, and then he passed. It was an interesting experience, but I don't know why I went off on that one. But I guess the thing about energy and about these wires and everything, and just now our world, just the whole planet and everything, and the electromagnetics and everything is shifting. But I do, those 5G wires really make a difference, because when we had the fires over Labor Day weekend, and we didn't have electricity here for 5 days here in Weed. They had the mill fire on the north side of Weed. Fortunately, it was all over that way, though. And I was just right on the evacuation border. Most people evacuated, but I stayed. There wasn't any electricity, but fortunately I had batteries and that type of stuff, so I was able to maintain pretty good during those 5 days. But my energy was fantastic, because we didn't have all these nasty radio waves or whatever these 5G microwaves, I guess they are, whatever. So anyway, I was just reflecting on that today. I missed my Thunderbird friends, and I miss my energy to be so exhausted all the time. It's not good. So anyway, so many changes going going on. So, yeah. Dr. Romney brought up something really very um, significant, given, the holiday seasons and people go be with family and dealing with narcissism and all of that kind of stuff. What she spoke about this trolley process or something like that, where she was saying, in certain cultures, uh, if a woman is in, a narcissistically abusive family situation, relationship, she will sacrifice her life because of the cultural nature that she's from, that if she should leave that relationship, the damage that would be done to her children and her family culturally. And it made me reflect upon, number one, I mentioned earlier in one of my posts how here in the West, women have a little bit more freedom to live independently and make self-determined choices. It's not that it's easy, and it's not like we don't deal with a lot of barriers and crap. We do. But we have a little bit more room to be able to function safely and independently outside of the cultural norms. But in most of the world, that's not the case. And it made me think of when I was in high school, and things were very limited for girls and women at that stage in my life where I was growing up. But again, it was just a time where I don't know, there was something in me that I just went ahead and broke a lot of the barriers. There were a lot of things that I wanted to do, and there were just certain opportunities that presented themselves for me to exercise a little bit more of a independent choice from family and the culture, and options, which I exercised. But like I said, it wasn't an easy path. I had to deal with a lot of crap and break through a lot of stuff and deal with a lot of injustices and everything. But I stuck with it, and I was able to make some headway and create pathways such that the women and the girls coming up behind me had more options, at least here in the States, and a little bit in Canada as well. So anyway, I don't know, I was reflecting upon that today. Just the next step, it's definitely things have wrapped up here, and I don't know right now how things are going to unfold. I have ideas, that I'm never that's always been my problems. There's so many options and ideas that I can exercise, um, that I want to do. I'm never for want of creative exploration and expression. The challenge for me is kind of narrowing it down to the right one and then sticking to that. And it's getting on that time now, I guess, as I'm wrapping stuff up here with this particular process. And let me go this way with it. I'll look at Mohawk Hill. Facing north. Yeah. Yeah. So, kind of, it's a type of graduation again, I guess. And moving into a whole new phase. But it is about making choices and decisions and narrowing things down. And everything is so unknown now, and everything is changing and shifting. I mean, it's unknown for everybody. So that's, I guess, where more of the. I gotta sit down. Sorry. Oh, well, I guess I don't have enough light for that. I'll have to wrap up. So it's twilight. We'll see what happens. God, it's such a, again, fascinating liminal space. And I guess I'll leave it at that. Wow, 17 minutes. Okay. Very good. Satnam Vaheguru Ji Miigwech. Thanks for listening and many, many blessings.